Right now at 6, an early morning fire in southwest Missouri leaves one man injured.
I got another bitterly cold start out there, and I think because of that cold, some schools and other places are closed once again today. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, some volunteers in Missouri brave the snow and ice to help first responders get to work.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. I was counting. That's what that was. I can count to 4 now.
Oh, good.
I've been working really hard on all of this.
Why can you count? Could you not count to 4 before?
Not until just now.
Oh, good.
I'm kidding. No, it's been a morning already, guys. It's almost like Monday. For Elise, it is a Monday.
I'm drinking my tea, everyone. I promise. I'm trying to sound
poor lady
okay.
has not been feeling well. She's braving the elements, which is absolutely insane to be with us today. So we do thank you for coming back. Well, and you know, sometimes even when you're not feeling well, if you start feeling a little better, you got to go to work sometimes. You got to get out of the house, and sometimes
back in your routine.
That's tough, though. And so thanks for braving the elements, braving whatever it is you got going on over there, and sticking with us. And thank you for sticking with us this morning as well, because I couldn't type. That's why it meant this morning I found out that thing that said 4-5. It's because 4 and 5 are above the 1 and 2 on the keypad, and I just wasn't watching where my fingers were.
I wish it was 45 out there.
It'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not in our future anytime soon. Cold weather sticking around. The roads are a lot better, though. We can show you that with our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Broadway, of course, looking fantastic. Even 3rd Street looking fantastic. Now, if you look at the bottom of your screen, because that's where I'm looking right now, you can see that there are closings once again today. Now, roads across the area have greatly improved. Temperatures, however, have not greatly improved, and so I'd be willing to bet, I'm not in specific cahoots with the different school districts, but I'd be willing to bet that's probably why some of them are closed today, because just not chancing it with the kids this morning. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, again, you can see roads looking pretty good. Black ice still a slight concern, so do be cautious out there, but thankfully it doesn't appear to be as big of a problem as we were concerned about heading into this morning. As we go into the afternoon, it's not very warm, but it will be sunny. It's a day of deception. You're going to look outside, you're going to see the sun, and you're going to go, wow, what a beautiful day. It looks great. And then you're going to walk out the door and immediately change your mind about that. But otherwise, really, it's not a bad day. At least we're getting some sunshine out there, and the winds are lighter. They'll be out in the north about 5 to 10, and so that will still make it feel colder, but not nearly as cold as it was yesterday. We're sitting at a whopping 10 degrees in Joplin, 7 in Pittsburgh. All right, a good temperature, isn't it? It's not. I'm kidding. Unless, again, you like this kind of weather. And I know there are those of you who do. And, all right. We got 5, Fort Scott and Nevada. We've got 8, Yates Center, 7 in Iola. So we've got single digits, teens, and getting close to about 20 down in our southern counties. But then even the light breeze makes it feel like it's 4 below in Iola. Feels like 1 in Yates Center. So it does feel a little bit colder out there. Kids getting on the bus. Those that do still have school today, bundle up, keep them in the car if you can, or maybe just take them to school. Maybe it'll be a little easier. Partly cloudy, about 13 when they get on the bus with a light north breeze or calm winds. North winds 5 to 10, sunny, 27 when the bus brings them home. Upper 20s where our highs are headed for today. Again, we'll have a few clouds this morning, and they will clear as we head into the afternoon hours. That's going to be cold again tomorrow. Be a little warmer Thursday, but believe it or not, snow is in the forecast by Thursday. Details on all that coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Police in Aurora, Missouri averted what could have been a deadly situation. Authorities say a man entered the lobby of the Aurora Police and Fire Facility Sunday night armed with a handgun, then placed the gun to his head, threatening to shoot himself. They say he also pointed the weapon at officers who were behind bullet restraint glass and repeatedly asked to be shot. When officers refused, the man stormed out of the lobby, then returned without a gun. Police subdued him with a taser. No word yet on formal charges. Authorities are investigating the cause of an early morning structure fire in Kendricktown, Missouri, just north of Carthage. Now, crews found smoke and flames coming from a large commercial building which used to be a semi-truck wash. Now, despite the 12-degree temperatures, crews managed to control the fire in less than an hour. Carthage Fire confirms one injury, and they say a man tried to put out the fire before firefighters arrived and suffered burns to his head. He was taken to a Joplin hospital. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. And as temperatures drop, we may be bracing for more wintry weather and a threat of black ice. Now, AAA of Missouri is reminding drivers to take extra precautions when navigating icy roads. Use extreme caution with passing bridges and overpasses, as these usually freeze first and melt last. Avoid using cruise control. Limit lane changes to reduce the risk of hitting black ice, and most importantly, slow down.
The concern is, even with roads that might have been passable, for example, during the daytime, once that temperature drops in the evening, that's when you could see icy spots pop up. So drivers need to be extra aware of icy conditions on the roads.
Also, according to a report from Cars.com, four-wheel drive does not help your car slow down any faster, and it could still lose control when driving in icy weather. You can get the latest road conditions and power outages across the area anytime through this QR code. It'll direct you to links on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for that information for each of the 4 states in our viewing area. And while the recommendation is to stay home when driving conditions are treacherous, some people don't have that option. Nurses, for example, have to figure out how to safely get to work to care for their patients. A group of volunteers in the Kansas City area is making a difference by offering rides to first responders during these less than ideal driving conditions. KC Off-Road volunteers their time in four-wheel drives to help out on just such days.
At least for me, it makes me feel nice and happy because we're able to help out somebody that might not be as fortunate.
If you are a first responder in the Kansas City area and need a ride, you can contact the group at KC Off-Road Adventure freely at gmail.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. McDonald's is the latest major corporation that says it will end some of its diversity and equity practices. Plus, Congress certifies that Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. Another major U.S. corporation is ending some of its diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. McDonald's is the latest, making its announcement on Monday. The fast food giant in a statement says it will sunset its specific diversity goals. Those include requiring their suppliers to commit to certain DEI targets. It will also stop participating in external surveys that measure corporate diversity. And McDonald's will change the name of its diversity team to the Global Inclusion Team. McDonald's is the latest company to reevaluate diversity pledges following a Supreme Court ruling against affirmative action and conservative backlash to programs. In one of her final acts as Vice President, Kamala Harris presided as Congress certified the victory of her opponent, Donald Trump, in the 2024 presidential election yesterday. It was a stark contrast to the chaos that erupted for years. 4 years ago, on January 6, when rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol, and the count took place amid heightened security around the city. Jared Hill has more from Washington.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes.
With Vice President Kamala Harris presiding, Monday, Congress certified the election of her opponent, Donald Trump, as the next president of the United States.
The chair declares this joint session dissolved. Thank you.
The proceedings lasted just about 30 minutes. A far cry from 4 years ago when a violent mob stormed the Capitol, trying to stop the certification of President Joe Biden's 2020 election win in favor of Donald Trump.
One of the most important pillars of our democracy is that there will be a peaceful transfer of power.
Trump celebrated on social media, posting, Congress certifies our great election victory today, a big moment in history. MAGA. House Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters he spoke with Trump over the weekend and yesterday as the new GOP House and Senate begin working on Trump's legislative priorities.
What he wants to ensure is that we deliver the America First agenda. That is our mission. That is our intent.
The nation's capital is on high security alert right now, with a number of high-profile events this month, including Trump's second inauguration in about 2 weeks. Large fences and a heavy police presence are back around parts of the now snow-covered city. This also comes as the body of former President Jimmy Carter is set to arrive at the Capitol later today. The 39th president set to lie in state until Thursday before his state funeral. Jared Hill, CBS News, Washington.
We've also learned that President-elect Donald Trump is expected to attend meetings with some Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill tomorrow. Trump has also said he will attend former President Jimmy Carter's state funeral in Washington on Thursday. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a bitterly cold start to the day. We even have some closings taking place, and I think some of that is likely due to the extreme cold. Skywatch Storm Tracker just showed us some clouds out there. Those will eventually clear out. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes on the KOAM Morning News.
Welcome back. We have Lori Horton in the studio this morning to teach us how to make a winter snowball cake.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, it's sort of fitting out there. We don't have a lot of snow for making snowballs, but it sure feels like we could. So this is actually kind of reminiscent of the little Hostess snowball
Those used to be my
cakes.
favorite as a kid.
Love.
Favorite.
You know, coconut. You either love it or you hate it. So if you hate it, scroll on, come back later. We're going to have 3 parts to this cake, so we're going to kind of work in sections this morning. We've got a chocolate base. We've got that really good filling, and then we've got a really creamy frosting that we're going to put over the top that we'll coat with that coconut.
Delicious.
So what I've already got mixed up here is just a box chocolate cake mix.
Okay.
Nothing out of the ordinary. We followed all the directions on the box. That was hard for me. I don't do that very often. But we actually just mix it up according to the directions on the box. So we get a nice chocolate batter out of that, nothing out of the ordinary. And we're going to set that aside for just a minute because what we are going to add to that is a cream cheese based filling.
Delicious.
But it's going to bake. So we're actually going to put, I've got a full block of cream cheese in here. It took me a minute to get that softened. And we're going to add to that 1 egg and just a couple of tablespoons of sugar. So this is super simple, not a lot of ingredients, but because we've got that egg in there, the filling is going to bake right along with the cake as we put that inside. So this is not going to be that sort of like volcano filling messy.
Right.
It's actually going to be a really nice dense cream cheese
delicious.
flavor in the middle. So we're going to make just a little bit of noise here. We're going to cream this up. Hopefully this is soft enough. Yay! It won't make too big of a mess. We want it to be really nice and thoroughly mixed and creamy. So that'll take just a minute with that egg. We also want to be sure that that sugar is really well incorporated. So you don't have to do a super high mix on this, but give it just a couple minutes to be sure that everything is really nice and soft and kind of fluffy look. So that's probably good. I'll give it just a little get that off of my beaters there for a sec. And then I'll just take my spatula, scrape those edges down so you guys can see that it's not super thick, but it does have a little body to it. So I'm actually going to beat that just another little bit because I've got a few little pieces in there. I don't want to see any of that cream cheese left. But when we come back, we're going to put our cake together, show you how that bakes a little bit, and then we'll go on to making that frosting for the outside. Yes. This is just super quick, but takes a little time to get all of our pieces in place. So it's worth it in the end. Again, if you love those snowball cakes, very, very much reminiscent of that. So
I can't wait to see it. All right. Thanks, Lori. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 621 on this Tuesday morning. We're starting with the future track. We'll have a northerly breeze around 5-10 miles an hour today. Temperatures will not be much warmer, but we'll have more sunshine, which will certainly look nice outside if you are inside a nice warm facility, or if you're home, maybe, snowy, all cozy on the couch. That sounds like a good plan for today. You're going to stay clear tonight, so of course that means it's going to have another cold night out there. Could have a cloud or two as we head into Wednesday. Winds are going to shift out of the northwest, still about 5 to 10, so we don't have to worry about significant wind chills, but still, it won't take much of a breeze with those temperatures being that low to make it feel much colder out there. Wednesday, another sunny day for us, but as we head into the evening, the winds will begin to turn out of the south for us as we go overnight and into Thursday. It'll still be cold Thursday morning, but temperatures will actually warm on Thursday, a little more than what we've seen lately, as clouds increase and we're watching some snow potential. Now, there's a low pressure out there. If it tracks a little far to the north, and we might get a little more snow out of this system. If it tracks a little further to the south, we may not get much of anything. But here's what the future track at this time is showing. It thinks it might be a little further north, which will give us snow as early as 2-3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, and it will continue. Now, look at the temperatures, though. They're at, or in some cases, just a bit above freezing. Well, it doesn't seem like a lot. It's just enough that this will be a wet snow, which is great for making snowballs, which is what Lori's making, but she's making edible ones. I mean, I guess you could eat a snowball, just don't eat the yellow snowballs. But the thing is, with it being a wet snow and with these temperatures like this, it's not going to stick as well. So there's a couple of different possibilities when it comes to accumulations on this snow, and I'm going to show you both of them real quick. So this is what I believe is the computer's thinking if this low tracks a little further to the north. Because the system's coming out of our south, the rare situation here for snow, it'll be lighter amounts in our northern counties and higher amounts in the southern. So now at this point, this shows anywhere from maybe 1 upwards of about 4.5 inches of snow. So 1 to 5 inches out there with the heavier totals down south. However, if that low tracks a little further to the south, we'll get some light snow, but it really won't add up to much, which is what this computer is thinking. This one thinks that maybe that low is going to track a little further to the south with maybe at most an inch, Lamar and Chanute. So not much out there. So we'll have to see exactly where this low tracks and how it tracks, determine exactly what we're going to get. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. Definitely could lead to some travel impacts because the slushy snow can lead to very slick spots out there. Very cold this morning. Number of schools, organizations closed again today, and I'd be willing to bet against some of those schools especially probably closed because it's too cold to put kids out there on the bus. It's 5 in Nevada, 6 in Fort Scott. It's a little warmer down to the south, getting close to 20 in Jay and Grove. But then you factor in that light breeze. The good news is now looking at the wind chills, we're above 0, which is nice. We've had some below 0, but it is still bitterly cold out there this morning. That's how we're going to start our day. 12 by 8 o'clock this morning, a few clouds to the morning. 20 by 11 a.m. And then eventually we'll start to see sunshine as we head into the afternoon. As I said, doesn't do much for our temperatures. Upper 20s for our highs. North breeze at 5 to 10. Into the evening, again, skies remaining clear. Temperatures dropping. Eventually about 10 tonight. Northwest winds at 5 to 10. Same situation tomorrow. Almost a copy and paste day. Mid-20s out there. Teens for the lows. Upper 30s initially Thursday, but temperatures will fall back a bit through the day. 20s. Then 30 Friday, could see some additional scattered snow showers on Friday. Then we head into Saturday, maybe a few flurries on Sunday. A little warmer though, still not where we're supposed to be, but some upper 30s on the horizon. We get pretty darn cold again by the middle of next week. Let's check your forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, some people with long COVID could be helped with an extended treatment of Paxlovid. Now, a study by UC San Francisco found that more than a third of long COVID patients who took Paxlovid for 2 weeks saw improvement with symptoms like fatigue, headache, and brain fog. The CDC estimates 1 in 13 adults has long COVID. Well, despite it being a popular topic with politicians, gender-affirming medications are hardly ever prescribed to children. A study by Harvard showed 0 recorded cases where a child under 12 was prescribed gender-affirming hormones, and less than 0.1% of minors overall received them. The study debunks claims that these medications are given out freely. Well, sugary drinks are responsible for millions of cases of diabetes and cardiovascular disease. A study by Tufts University estimates every year 2.2 million people develop type 2 diabetes due to sugary beverages. and 1.2 million develop cardiovascular disease. The problem is especially bad in developing countries in Africa and Latin America. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, the Galena City Council tries to sniff out an odor issue.
And we've got another bitterly cold start to the day, and I think the temperatures are why you're seeing some closings at the bottom of your screen. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, area warming centers are helping to provide shelters from those dangerously cold temperatures.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, January the 7th, and we are trucking right along. Full week now into 2025. Yes. And boy, winter, we didn't really have winter-like temperatures through a lot of December.
No,
it got cold. But boy, it is bitterly cold.
Wake up call that it's winter for sure.
It certainly is. And so I want to say, if it's going to be as cold as it is, it should at least snow. And that's what it did for us. It may not have been a lot across the area, but at least it did, which made it, like fine. It's going to be that cold. At least it snowed a little. Not much, but a little. But there could be more on the way. We'll talk about that here in just a few more minutes. However, this morning, one thing we're not having to deal with is the road conditions. Roads are looking great across the area this morning. And we'll start with downtown Pittsburgh, where you can see Broadway is clear. 3rd Street, we talked about, 3rd Street, not clear yesterday. Everything's clear. Road crews did a phenomenal job. And speaking of road crews, I mentioned this earlier, but just in case maybe this person's just tuning in, somebody, I think, in our area that either is associated with or works for KDOT took care of a problem, because there's no way it just suddenly solved itself. Yesterday, you may remember our road conditions map. The Kansas one, for some reason, did not have an understanding of closed. It didn't have a code for it, and so it was showing all these closed roads in Kansas as clear because it didn't understand closed. Well, I came in, I looked this morning. We have no issues in our area, but it has been fixed. Now it knows what closed is. So thank you to whoever may have taken care of that for us, because that would be beneficial. Hopefully we don't have to worry about any closed roads in our future here, but it is great to know that has been solved. Murdoch Camera 20th and Rangeline also looking good. Black ice, still a slight concern, but not nearly as big a concern as we were thinking yesterday morning. It all depended on how much melting, refreezing could take place. Thankfully, it's not as big of a deal, but still, you want to be careful out there, especially rural roads and side streets, just in case. Into the afternoon we go. Skies are clear, plentiful sunshine, a light north breeze around 5 to 10. Unfortunately, not much relief from these cold temperatures out there as we stay pretty darn chilly and well below normal. Already there now, 10 in Joplin, 7 in Pittsburgh and across the area. And again, you're seeing those closings. Not everybody's going back to school today, even though the roads may be better. I think some of this has to do with the cold. I haven't spoken directly with the school districts, of course, but I'd be willing to bet it's because, look at this, Nevada is one of the schools that are out today, just one. I have 5 degrees this morning. I know Yates Center is another one, I think, and Humboldt is out, and you can see in some of those zones, we're in the single digits. Now, a little further south, it's a little better. Getting close to around 20 degrees, but then you factor in even a light breeze. It's what we talked about. Even a light breeze with temperatures this cold does make it feel a bit colder out there. For those of you who are going back to school today, make sure you're bundled up or in the car with mom or dad or whoever you may be with to stay warm until that bus gets there. It's going to be 13, partly cloudy and a light north breeze. And then into the afternoon we go sunny, 27, north winds 5 to 10, and upper 20s are where our highs are headed today. Plentiful sunshine, just not plentiful warm air. As I mentioned, we do have the possibility of some snow as we head toward the end of this week. We will talk about that and some of the warmer temperatures, slightly warmer temperatures on the horizon here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. As temperatures across the 4 states fall well below freezing, it becomes dangerous for those living on the streets or without heat. Warming centers are opening their doors to offer a safe place to those who need it. Run by volunteers and donations, many of these warming centers are able to provide a place to sleep, a warm meal, and a shower.
We don't realize until you've been out there and been freezing and cold and without food, you don't realize the need. There's just a huge need for this type of ministry, and so that's what we're here for. We're here to meet that need. Warming
center hours vary and not all are pet friendly. We have a list of warming centers in the 4-state area that are open or plan to open on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We encourage people to call these locations and check on hours, and you can also contact them to find out which ones are pet friendly. You'll also find information on donating or volunteering for each, and if your organization has a warming center and would like to be added to the list, just email our digital content manager, Stacy Streeter. The Joplin Police Department announces the upcoming session of its Citizens Police Academy. The Academy is a 14-week program hosted by the Joplin Police Department. The class will cover a range of topics, including crime scene investigation, SWAT operations, and equipment, use of force, and canine introduction. Now, these free classes begin February 6th and run until the 8th of May. We've provided a convenient link to the application on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. The Galena, Kansas City Council is trying to sniff out the source of an odor issue. In a meeting last night, the council agreed to ask the Kansas Department of Health and Environment to further investigate the cause of a sulfur smell that's prompted a number of citizen complaints. The odor seems to be worse in an area north of 4th Street, not far from a landfill. Residents complain the smell seems to be strongest in the evening.
It's been off and on. It was just a little bit like in the past summer and stuff like that, and nothing really to worry about. But now it's just nonstop, and it's just whenever. Because I'm on the south side of the landfill, and the wind blows from the north, we smell it.
The KDHE had previously determined the smell was not likely coming from the landfill, but the council is seeking a further investigation. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Well, Disney's Hulu Plus live TV service plans on merging with Fubo, with both services continuing under both brand names. And we have a cold and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, 10 companies from around the globe are in Las Vegas this week to show off the latest innovations in technology. And there is one word that is on everyone's lips. Andres Gutierrez tells us what it is.
From lifelike robots,
a little sunshine can definitely brighten the day,
to a tractor that can operate on its own, thousands of items are now being powered by one thing.
A lot of AI. I think AI is going to touch every single thing pretty much that we see here.
Artificial intelligence is taking center stage at CES. The technology allows machines to learn from experience and process massive amounts of data in just seconds. And now it's getting even smarter.
NVIDIA founder and CEO, Jensen Huang.
NVIDIA CEO says its latest chips are designed to make AI faster and more powerful.
The memory bandwidth is 1.2 petabytes per second. That's basically the entire internet traffic that's happening right now.
The big takeaway.
After the show, I sat down with NVIDIA Omniverse Vice President Rev Libridian, who says the company is also unveiling NVIDIA Cosmos, an open source platform that allows robots and self-driving cars to learn in virtual reality exactly as they would in real situations.
The whole world is at an inflection moment. This new capability we have of essentially manufacturing intelligence is fundamentally going to change productivity in every domain. It's going to touch everything.
That we're taking the technology.
Competitors like AMD are also rolling out their own solutions,
relentlessly pushing the boundaries of high-performance computing.
The latest chips promise to become more affordable, not just for massive companies, but for startups like G1 Intelligent Technologies. The company developed this facial analysis mirror that in just seconds scans your face and offers vital health stats from oxygen levels to how well you slept.
Seems that you get sleep well, you are healthy, but you don't get enough relaxation.
AI is going to become commonplace.
The editor-in-chief of PCMag.com says the end goal of AI is to make life a little easier.
AI is supposed to anticipate what you need and bring it to you.
This latest generation of AI tech promising a future that's more connected, more convenient, and perhaps more insightful than ever before. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Las Vegas.
U.S. Steel and Japan's Nippon Steel have filed a lawsuit challenging President Joe Biden's decision to block their proposed $15 billion merger. The two companies accuse the president of making the decision based on politics. The Biden administration said it made the decision due to American national security reasons. And the companies have also filed a separate lawsuit against the CEO of U.S. competitor Cleveland-Cliffs and the president of the U.S. Steelworkers Union. Well, Disney's Hulu Plus live TV service is merging with another streaming provider, Fubo. Now, the companies say Disney will have a 70% ownership stake, though the services will continue to run under both brand names. The deal does not include Hulu's subscription video service. The two companies combined have more than 6 million subscribers. This move will also allow Fubo to drop a pending lawsuit against a new joint sports streaming venture involving multiple major media providers. And Chick-fil-A is bringing back two zesty fan favorites starting today for a limited time. The grilled spicy deluxe sandwich served with cilantro lime sauce and key lime flavored drinks. The chicken chain says the two items complement each other in order to help diners, quote, beat the winter blues. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are going to start with a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. You got those clear skies, clouds off to the west, to the east, and those are beginning to clear on out of here. But it is still quite cold, but the good news is the roads are clear. However, even though the road conditions have greatly improved since yesterday, there's still a number of schools and organizations closed. You see at the bottom of your screen, and I bet some of that, again, is very likely due to the very cold temperatures, especially in our northern counties right now. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good as well. I know we talked about black ice yesterday. Does not seem to be as significant as a concern as we were worried about, but still, especially side roads and back roads, you still want to watch out for where some melting may have taken place and refrozen in areas that maybe aren't treated as frequently as, say, the main roads are. All right, on to the future track for today. Skies, again, will continue to clear through the morning. We'll have sunny skies this afternoon, a north breeze around 5 to 10. Unfortunately, even though we get plentiful sunshine, we will not have plentiful warmth. It is going to continue to stay quite cold out there, and it's still cold now. We're sitting at 10 in Joplin, 7 in Pittsburgh right now, and across the area, temperatures are like this. This is what I'm talking about. Like Nevada, for example, I know it's just one of a number of schools, especially up north, that are closed today, and that's probably the reason why. Look at that temperature. It is 4. That's the air temperature. It's 4. 5 in Fort Scott. We've got this cold air across the northwestern portion of our area. Almost, if you just straightened out the I-44 corridor, points north, it's much colder than points south, because, I mean, take a look. Grove and Jay, it's sitting at 20 all morning long. We have a light breeze, so it's not having a major impact on wind chills, but it does make it feel a little colder. Feels like 0 in Independence and -5 in Iola. We'll have another full look at your forecast in just a moment. It's also about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, but first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, poet Amanda Gorman will be here to give us a reading from her new children's book. And speaking of reading, Oprah reveals the next selection for her book club. That is coming up on CBS Morning.
Time for some Tuesday birthdays in the 4 states, and we are starting in Seneca with Bella Miller celebrating birthday number 10. Says happy birthday for Mom, Dad, and the rest of the family.
And over in Girard, a happy 11th birthday to Ellie Carson.
And down to Seneca again, Chief Miller also celebrating birthday number 11. Says happy birthday from Dad, Maddie, Emma, and Nanny.
And heading over to Parsons, a happy 15th birthday to Kenzie Keeling.
And in Frontenac, Jackson Barcelona celebrating birthday number 15 as well. Happy birthday.
And Bailey Howard celebrating birthday number 17 today. It says here, happy birthday, love Mom, Sean, Wyatt, and Kaden. Happy birthday.
And in Riverton, Josh Thompson celebrating birthday number 24. Happy birthday, Josh.
And in Carthage, happy 21st anniversary to Carissa and Tony Sandoval.
And Dave Ashmore in Arma celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Dave.
And continuing our list with a happy 84th birthday to Bill McDermott in Crestline.
And we've got Kay Goebel celebrating a birthday in Arma. Very happy birthday and anniversary to all of those on our list. this list, another fantastic one, and we want them all to be this way, as we've told you before, and Elise knows how you can help us do that.
Yes, you can submit those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include the date of your celebration when submitting, and to also meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
And it's very important to meet that deadline because you want to make sure that your birthday or celebration airs when it's supposed to. And it's a great day to be inside to submit birthdays and anniversaries to us because it is too cold to go outside. Believe me, if I didn't have to go outside this morning, I wouldn't have. My car, I told you earlier, decided it didn't like it either. I pull into the parking lot, and as I'm slowing down, all of a sudden my power steering light comes on, then the battery light, and as I pull into the parking lot, then I'm told to check the collision warning, check the blind spot warning, the check engine light, all the lights came on, and then it wouldn't start again after that. But it started immediately with the jump. But just be prepared. Some cars don't like the cold. I don't like the cold. But if you do and your car does, then we're doing all right. Into the afternoon we go. Sunny skies. It's going to look great, won't feel great. We're talking 20s by noon. We're looking at highs really not much warmer than that. And of course, with no cloud cover, it'll get cold again tonight. The nice thing is the winds won't be gusting. So we're talking a north breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour out there. Could have a couple of clouds to start the day Wednesday, but otherwise it is basically taking today and moving it to tomorrow. We're looking at very similar temperatures, very similar conditions. The only difference is the winds will be out of the northwest instead of the north, but still at 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll have abundant sunshine and less than abundant warmth. Then we go into Wednesday night. See the wind arrows, they're turning on us by Wednesday evening. Overnight, they will shift out of the south, and usually that means warmer weather, and it will bring slightly warmer temperatures, but it also starts bringing in some moisture, and it could also bring in some snow, because moisture in the wintertime, when the temperatures are cold, doesn't necessarily mean rain, unfortunately. It does mean snow. Well, okay, not unfortunately. I like the snow if it's warm enough to go out and, play in it and enjoy it. When it's 5 degrees, you can't go enjoy the snow. Kids can't go enjoy the snow. It's too cold. We might have that opportunity Thursday, though. Through the morning hours, clouds increasing, southerly winds. Early day highs, say before or right after noon, looking to be into the upper 30s. And then temperatures will start to drop a bit. But this is the thing I want to point out, is the warmer air that's in place. I know 34 isn't warm, but when it comes to winter precipitation, it's a bit warm. And so what we may be looking at is a wet snow if we get snow. There's a low pressure we're keeping an eye on. If it tracks a little further to the north, then we're looking at a decent amount of snow for some of us. If it tracks a little further to the south, we could get barely any snow, may not even get any at all. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on this. But as we go into the afternoon, these temperatures are at or a bit above freezing. Because of that as well, the snow isn't going to stick as well either to the ground, other than to maybe grassy and elevated surfaces out there. So even though it may snow for quite some time, it's not going to necessarily add up to a lot. So this is one computer thinking about the snow, and it believes, based on its data, that low is going to lift a little further north. If it does, this is a rare situation where there's more snow down south than up north because the system's coming out of the south. But we're looking at maybe 1 to upwards of about 5 inches of snow at the heavier amounts right along the I-44 corridor. That is if the low lifts a little further north, and of course this will still be adjusted as well. If the low stays south, which is what this computer is thinking it will do, best we're going to muster is maybe 1 inch in Chanute and Lamar. Otherwise, it's not a lot of snow out there. So it's something we'll keep an eye on. You'll want to keep an eye on it, and we'll of course keep you updated as we get closer to Thursday and Friday. Right now though, sharp divide in temperatures, single digits on the northwestern half of our area. Then you start sinking south, it's into the teens and 20 in Grove and Jade. And that light breeze is making it feel a little colder in some spots, like Iola, for example, where it feels like it's 5 below zero out there. It feels like 0 in Independence. As we get our day started, a few clouds here and there. Those clouds begin to clear, 12 by 8 and about 20 by 11 a.m. We'll have one more full look at your forecast, plus the news you need to know in just a moment. And when we switch over to Fox 14, a California man is transforming his backyard into a beautiful, masterful piece of his passion.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police in Aurora, Missouri averted what could have been a deadly situation Sunday night. Authorities say a man entered the lobby of the Aurora Police and Fire facility armed with a handgun and threatening to shoot himself. Police were able to subdue him with a taser, and there are no word yet on formal charges. Authorities are investigating the cause of an early morning structure fire in Kendricktown, Missouri, just north of Carthage. Crews found smoke and flames coming from a large commercial building that used to be a semi-truck wash. A Carthage fire confirms that a man tried to put out the fire before firefighters arrived and suffered burns to his head. He was taken to a Joplin hospital. And we have a list of warming centers in the 4 states that are open or plan to open on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And we encourage people to call these locations and check on hours. If your organization has a warming center and would like to be added to the list, just email our digital content manager, Stacy Strader. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, very cold this morning. Again, some schools, organizations are closed today. And while the roads have improved, temperatures have not. So be willing to bet some of those closures simply because it's just too cold to put kids outside right now. Highs today, upper 20s, sunny skies, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening we go. Clear skies continue. Cold again, down to about 10. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. And another copy and paste day tomorrow and tomorrow night. And then a little warmer Thursday. And then we see snow opportunities from Thursday afternoon into Friday. So keep a very close eye on that for you. A little warmer by Sunday, and then another possible round of at least a few evening flurries.
All righty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making cheesy baked chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
As your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings, still figuring out some New Year's resolutions? Well, ahead on CBS Mornings, Jill Schleichinger will share tips to help you stay on track with your financial goals all year long.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, a warning about road conditions as we could get more wintry weather in the coming days.
Plus, Lori Horton back in the studio with her winter snowball cake. Not made with real snow, but probably much better than real snow. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.